Hello, it's Radiant again, talking about subjects around the world and in Texas. I'd like to talk about the Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow laws was a collection of state and local statutes that legalized segregation, racial segregation, named after a black minstrel show character. The laws, which existed for about 100 years, from the post-Civil War era until 1968. These laws wouldn't let black people in the South do anything. You couldn't even vote. When they were allowed to vote, they put a poll tax on it where you had to pay property tax, and then you had to say that you could read. If you couldn't read, you couldn't vote. A bunch of white people couldn't read too, but they went on the grandpa clause. If their grandpa voted, they could vote. But see, the blacks didn't have this grandpa clause they could fall on. Jim Crow law told you where to work, how much money you're going to make, and then they would get your children to be in the fields. No child labor laws then, buddy. They told you where you could live, and in certain houses you could buy. They had a thing said separate but equal. So the same water fountain that said colored supposed to have been equal with the fountain that said white. But one of them was raggedy and dirty, and one of them was clean. You know which one? The restrooms the same way. If you had black restrooms, most of the time they sent the black folks that stopped to get gas to the woods to use the bathroom. Couldn't use the bathrooms at the gas station. Couldn't come in and pay for the gas. They had to take their money out front. And with Jim Crow laws. I grew up in the Jim Crow era. They say it lasted to 1968, but I seen it in 69, 70, and 71. In our little town that I live in, it still had a laundromat that had whites only on the side. 1969. It still had a separate but equal theater, 71, where blacks went to the balcony and whites sit at the top. We had a separate but equal swimming pool, which we couldn't get in the swimming pool till the whites got out at 11 o'clock. And then we went in after. It was 1971, 72. So did the Jim Crow laws affect black people today? You couldn't meet back then. You couldn't barbecue like people do now. You couldn't meet in the evenings at your house, not even your kinfolks. Did that affect black people today? Because now we're some meeting folks, buddy. We meet under trees, burn barrels, domino tables. We meet everywhere. And we drinking. Blacks couldn't drink. Be caught with liquor in the Jim Crow law. Go to jail. Even in your own house. Even in your own yard. A bunch of black people went to jail with Jim Crow laws. And the prisons started getting packed in with black people. This is nothing new about us being the most in prison. This is nothing new. So even on the voting thing, because a bunch of blacks don't vote and don't know why, but you got to understand your ancestors worked hard to vote. They tried hard to vote, got whooped, scared by the Ku Klux Klan, all kind of stuff not to vote. And now we got people that just don't think it's going to do anything. You don't have to listen to me. You can look it up on the Jim Crow laws. It's just punching it on your phone or computer or whatever. It'll pop up and tell you. 100 years. We had to go through this. Just thought I'd let you know a little bit about that. You know, I try to express things that happened in the past and it's still happening today in a different manner. And let's wake up, black people. Let's do something. Hit like and subscribe. Give me some comments. Let me know if I'm talking out of my side of my head or I'm talking pretty decent talk. I enjoy you. Have a good evening.